Dave Sobel here at IT Nation Connect on another bonus episode. I'm joined by Jason Eberhardt of 1Password. Jason, thanks for joining me today.
Thank you so much for having us, Dave.
This is super fun. We've known one in a long time. Never had a chance to get you on the show. The first thing I just want to get a bit of a ground set is tell me a little bit about what's going on at 1Password, because from my perspective, I would have said, like, that's not a company I would have immediately said is like an MSP channel-focused company.
Yeah.
So give me a little bit of sense of like the why and what you're up to.
Yeah, so one of the great things about 1Password is the culture and the people and how much they care about their customers. That's what kind of draw me to them. They have over 150 partners and over millions of users, and they never had anything MSP related. So bringing me in and looking at that has made them, it's an OKR of our company, it's a focus of our company, and it's something that is very unique for me, but we're also a multi-product company now. So we're also going to not only do a password, so we started in 2005, and then in 2018, we came out with an enterprise manager, which is actually a password manager for enterprise. And then the next level is when you're working with consumers, is to start working with MSPs. Because a lot of the consumer products are sold to people that work with MSPs. So that's kind of the connection there.
It makes sense, because I just wanted to get a little context of like why 1Password. Now, I want to take a quick step back and do a little bit of the broader cybersecurity market, because this feels like you've played in this market a while. It's a very crowded market. And there's actually an interesting tension that I'm feeling between the cybersecurity market, which has a ton of players. But when I sit in the keynote and listen to, for example, ConnectWise talk today about a platform play.
Yes.
There's a tension there, and we've got a lot of solution providers that are trying to whittle that down. How do you reconcile that best in breed, all this products out there versus a push to platforms?
Yeah, that is a good point to bring, Dave, because that is happening, and that's been happening for years now. What I do is I create relationships with the RMMs and the different companies so that we can get into that stack. But what they're going to do is move, so we also have to move it as an MSP vendor. So we have to find ways to bring in direct. I haven't done direct MSP before. We're doing that now, right? We're going to do RMM. We're going to do the distribution. We're going to do telcos, et cetera, right? We're going to do all those things where in the past, you signed up with ConnectWise, you signed up with like Ninja, you signed up with one of those guys, they do the sales for you, they get the revenue, right? So it's one of those things where you have to do both now versus where it was only focused on. That's what I would say.
Okay, so, and again, just to give a lot of the MSPs don't always understand the mechanics and the approach that you take to this, because again, you used a keyword, right? Direct. What you mean by this direct to MSP, not direct to customer.
Correct.
Although, of course, you do have a to consumer product. Give me a little bit of the sense of the way that you think about resolving even the channel conflict that happens with, let's put aside the consumer. You've just talked about two channel markets that are going to have conflict. Talk to me about how you think about reconciling.
So one step back, we just hired a channel chief on the other part of the business to do the reselling. So there could be channel conflict there too. So there'd be channel conflict, right?
Right.
So what I look at always, so what I do is I create tiered structured pricing.
Okay.
And the way I do that is I do it if you raise your business, you get more NFRs and you get a bigger discount. And with that, when that comes, any partner that wants to work with me, an MSP, a distribution, it doesn't matter who it is, RMM, that's the structure. So if they go, why is that person getting a better discount than me? Well, this is why. This is what you need to do, and you can hit it. And as long as you lay it out for MSPs and all the MSP channel, they love it. Like they understand it, right? They don't like when they don't understand. And as long as you explain yourself, they're on your side.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, so again, give me a little bit of insight as somebody who thinks this way. And again, we're doing this because a lot of the providers get very frustrated by vendor programs because they don't have insight into the why.
Right.
I knew you'd give me some good insights into it. Tell me a little bit of the way you think about the whys of structured pricing, because in a way it is introducing complexity.
It is.
But for a purpose, and your whole point is to make this simple. Talk to me a little bit about why and how you structure that.
The main thing is scalability and giving the discounts to the MSPs that deserve it better than anyone else. And that's why I create it, right? Because if we can give discounts to a distribution, why can we not give that to an MSP that wants to go direct? To be honest, Dave, I haven't really done direct. Usually it's through the channel, distribution, RMM.
Yeah.
But with our product and what we're doing, we need to do that. We're going to be launching very soon, right? Hopefully, end of the year is probably Q1 timeframe. So we need to be able to bring those guys on and then also bring on the distributions RMM. So what I would tell you is a little bit add on to that is I'm going to have these conversations with the Pack Saints, Ingrams, TD, anybody you could think of, ConnectWise, Ninjas, all those guys. And we're going to figure this out together. Okay. Because I'm not the kind of guy that walks and goes, this is how we're going to do it. That does not work, right? This is what I want to do. Then they'll come back and go, well, can't do this. And we come to an agreement. Guess what that's called? A partnership.
Okay. Makes a ton of sense. Now, the other one I want to I knew you'll be a good one to riff on this.
Okay.
And I wanted to get a little bit of your sense of this. Ecosystems is the buzzword. As I have observed that both ecosystems and marketplaces are synonyms to distribution. And in a way, a marketplace is a subset of distribution if we actually think about it. Putting that aside, I think what we're actually trying to capture with all of those words is the difference between someone who influences a sale versus someone who directly does it.
What we call a sales assist.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So that's what I wanted to ask you is tell me a little bit about how you think about the influencer on a sale versus the deliverer of a sale.
Yeah, the influencer on a dealer is mostly the sales, right? So we're out there at these conferences, we're in keynotes, we're on amazing podcasts like you,
nice of you to say.
Having those conversations. That's the fun part, right? The back part is where the work really starts, right? And I've been in this business, let's just say 20 plus years. I don't want to get too much. There's start gray coming. I don't want to get into that, right?
Yeah.
But as you get to the business and you go to ecosystems, marketplaces, all those things, and you look at sales assist versus non-sales assist. So we're also going to have a third part where they just go to the marketplace and they just buy it and nobody touches anything and nobody does anything, right? That is the MSP channel. If they have no sales assist, no POs, they can go in there, very easy to buy, and then they get it. When it comes to sales assist, it gives more complexity to the business because now you have to pay out revenue. You have another person that's involved in the sale. The back end is in the sale, the front end is in the sale, and everybody in between is in the sale, right? And that's just too many people, right? Okay. Go ahead. Did you have...
No, I'm listening.
Yeah. So when we want to do it, that's traditional channel. That's the sales assist channel, traditional channel. With MSP, it's monthly. That is where it's all like non-sales assist. We don't want to touch it. We absolutely are going to talk to our MSPs. So we're going to talk to our MSSPs, all our partnerships, everything. But what we want to do is set up a situation where they can come, buy it, and not have to talk to anybody if they want, if that's what they want to do.
See, I knew you would give me a bunch of insights that we could teach listeners a little bit to think this way, because I think one of the tensions that I always focus on in the relationship between solution providers and the vendors is oftentimes they don't understand one another.
Right.
And there's a lot of conversation about vendors that don't understand MSPs, but I actually think there's an important lesson for those MSPs to understand the motivation of their vendors.
Absolutely.
If you understand and you have to spend some time learning this kind of stuff. The other thing I want to get a little bit of your insight into, particularly somebody who thinks about this from a selling perspective. Right, security is a little tough in that, and my two big problems with security is, first off, we don't want to sell on fear because it doesn't. Well, there's a lot of fear in security.
There is. I don't use it. Yeah.
Fair, but which is where we're going with this. The other half of security is that I have never met a security person that even if I gave them infinite money to would actually promise a result.
I hear that.
Okay.
I hear that.
Is I
TNAE or a project, I get it.
Well, I can give a security person infinite money, and what they will still come back with is, well, I have done risk mitigation and I have reduced, and it's like, at some point, a business owner is asking me for a business outcome.
Yes.
They are asking me to deliver on that. Tell me how you think about security and the way that conversation should go.
Yeah, honesty.
Okay.
Because literally what you just said is the answer. You cannot completely block it down or shut it down completely unless you unplug it, right? So you got to make it so difficult for a bad actor to get in there that it's not worth it. That's where it comes down to. And that's why one of the reasons I went to 1Password was the structure, the security structure, versus the other 1Password and all those kind of the enterprise password managers. We all focus on security structure. We have two keys. You break one, you can't get the other one. So it's all about honesty. And again, I know I keep going back to the partnership thing, Dave, but just work it together, right? Don't go into a conversation and be like, this is what I need to do. Hear what the other side has to say, because every MSP I talk to, I learn something new. Every single time I talk to them. Every time.
So give me that. You got to give me the good nugget. What's like you've been down here talking to partners a little bit. What's the one thing you sort of learned from MSPs that surprised you this week?
Oh, that surprised me. The thing that doesn't surprise me is they want ease of use, a good structure, multi-tenancy outcomes, consumption billing, all that kind of stuff. What has really made me understand that the whole industry is changing is people are starting to now go into that whole ecosystem and platform more than they did before. You talked about that earlier in the podcast, right? So that is something that I've been a little bit like, oh my gosh, we're changing, because ConnectWise's leadership is changing. Other people's companies are changing, right? And when those things change goes down, and it flicks down the whole structure of the company, right?
Right.
So that's the only thing that is really structure that kind of hit me is like, you look at even at Kaseya with the K365 thing, right?
Yeah.
Everything is coming together like that. And that's hard for vendors like us because now we're on the outside of that. But what I will tell you is like with Fredek to say, or like ConnectWise or any of these guys, they still want to work with us. Even if they have their ecosystem, they also have their marketplaces. So we have ways to work all this out together as a team.
So is there, like, I want to get a little sense, and let's not pick on names, let's talk about strategies, right?
Sure.
So there is a very clear movement for some vendors that are thinking about this as a pure play platform, where they're going to be a single vendor and approach that way. On the other extreme, there is the like, hey, we're going to integrate with everybody and it's all full marketplace. And then there's also vendors that are thinking about this from a kind of a bit, they're trying to split the difference, right? They're trying, but what I want to get a little sense is, give me a little bit of senses of like the pros and cons from your perspective.
Yeah,
as someone trying to get into those platforms, give me a little bit of the pros and cons of the approaches.
The pros are, really when it comes to MSP, is the monthly billing, the easy thing. And what I always like to say to MSPs is you have to win every day with them, because the difference with structure of yearly contracts versus monthly contracts is the renewal happens every month.
Right.
If you have to win every month versus with a yearly contract, you only have to win once a year. Right? So one of those things that makes us more connected with our customers, our partners, it makes us have those conversations. It makes us move the whole conversation moving forward. So that's a pro. The con with the ecosystems is you're not always going to get the best of breed when it comes to those ecosystems. And that's not a knock on anyone or any company, like you said, right?
Right.
It's like sometimes you do maybe the second or third best of breed product because of the price and how it works in your stack. I would say that would be a con, because I think I want to offer the best to our MSPs every time we talk to us. And that's the difference, but that's why I work at a vendor versus somewhere else.
So, well, and different approaches, right? You've got expertise in this area. So I last sort of thought on this, and I've been asking a lot of the people that are thinking about, we're talking in November 2024 timeframe, right? And we're all thinking about 2025.
Do you mean?
What's the kind of the one thing that you're watching for from a trends perspective? Like the thing that you're seeing, like that's going to pop, or you're interested to see happen, that for you is the thing you're tracking for 2025? Can
I tell you something that probably no one said? AI. No one brought that up, right? AI. It's AI.
Okay.
It's all about AI, because you're seeing it in products. You're seeing it in people using it to build decks and emails now. You're seeing it in conversations. It's everywhere, and there's not a lot of security around it right now. So that's going to be that next level is, okay, AI in your environment is now another user, and you have to control that user. If you don't, they have access to everything. And if somebody exploits that user, now they have access to everything. So it's one of those things where I think everyone is looking into that, right? I don't see a lot of companies saying, Spotlight and those kind of things, but like ChatGPT is not something that you get from your company, but you put on your phone. I don't know if you have it, but I use it
all the time. Okay, so now you've opened me up for a follow-up, and I do want to ask you, because I want to get your if you've identified AI as that is
yes, one of those things. Yep.
I want to get your take on my premise, and you're an informed person. So I've been thinking a lot about this problem, and I would agree with you. AI is one of those technologies that I think is a thing.
It is.
Right? I'm dismissive of metaverse or Bitcoin or crypto. Like, I looked at those and I said, I couldn't see the business case. Here's one that's similar to cloud or mobile. I can identify use cases. I think the biggest challenge is that we have not focused enough on data governance to be ready for AI. And so I would highlight, for me, the 25 opportunity is less AI and more data governance and preparation for AI.
I love the way you just put
What's your take? So what's your take?
I agree. I completely agree. I think, when I'm thinking about it, AI is the solution or the plan that's going to happen. What you're talking about is what you need to do to get to that plan. Okay. So I still think AI is the thing we need to look at, but I do think we need to always focus on the data governance. Okay. We need to make sure that our data is protected. It's all the permissions are all good. Everything is good set up in there. And just real quick, Dave, we just set up a beta that just started in March.
Okay.
We had 50 MSP sign up, and they're all working and ready to go. So almost, I would just say, let's say thousands more MSPs are waiting for us to launch. So we're pretty excited about that. So I just want to stick that in there because it's pretty exciting stuff.
Well, then I look forward to catching base with you kind of post-launch and hear how it's
We need to keep doing this. Absolutely.
Jason, this has been great fun.
Thanks
for joining me.
Appreciate it.
Are you ready to take your cloud business to the next level? TD SYNNEX is changing the game for MSPs with their Stream One platform, where all clouds meet. With Stream One, you get access to Microsoft, AWS, Google, and more, all in one place. Stream One Commerce API enables headless commerce, and there is seamless integration with your PSA tools, making billing easier than ever. Plus, white label storefronts allow you to extend a fully customizable marketplace to your customers. And Stream One is more than a marketplace. It simplifies the complexity of cloud ecosystems and empowers you to grow at scale. To learn more, visit tdsynnex.com/StreamOneIon and see how Stream One can transform your business. The Business of Tech is written and produced by me, Dave Sobel, under ethics guidelines posted at businessof.tech. If you like the content, please make sure to hit that like button and follow or subscribe. It's free and easy and the best way to support the show and help us grow. You can also check out our Patreon, where you can join the Business of Tech community at patreon.com/MSP Radio, or buy our Why Do We Care merch at businessof.tech. Finally, if you're interested in advertising on the show, visit mspradio.com/engage. Once again, thanks for listening to me, and I will talk to you again on our next episode of the Business of Tech.